Nagraj, let me come to you and let me get your view on the entire auto pack. How is that one looking to you right now? Anything that's striking and that is actually looking very attractive at this point in time in the auto space?
No, auto sector itself is showing a sideways consolidation. If you take prominent stocks like Tata Motors, Maruti, and M&M, they are all in a consolidation phase. I'm not expecting that any bigger correction at this point of time. But this sector and the most prominent stocks in the auto sector is likely to continue with consolidation movement with smaller dips in the near term, where I'm expecting upside bounces from the lower levels after some correction.
Right, so that's the take coming in on the auto space. Sunil, what's your take, especially when you talk about the entire consumption theme in which also auto pack features? How are you seeing that space, given the fact that now we are going to come into the H2 of the year, and a lot of hopes were riding on the fact that all these softs that you had on the taxation front, on the interest rate cuts, will now start actually reflecting?
I think I'm fairly bullish on that, and it's not just the good news in terms of the 1 lakh crore giveaway and the fact that RBI will have a supportive monetary policy. Even if there's no rate cut, the policy will be supportive and attractive. I'm sorry, accommodative, and also the fact that we are seeing the good monsoon. So the monsoon means that rural demand, and so what I'm looking forward to eagerly is a flattening of the K-shaped consumption curve into a more U-shaped one, which means I think that the smaller end vehicles, whether they be motorcycles, scooters, or entry level cars, they should come and beef it up. And I think that's where my focus is in terms of that. The second part of it is that I think within the auto space, tractors, obviously with a good monsoon, we should expect to see a rise in tractors and power tillers and agriculture related auto equipment. The third aspect is in the BTA itself. I think auto will be a key part for us, and to some extent auto components exports I think will benefit because it's a labor oriented sector. Finally, when it comes to the pricing, and if you look at the valuations, right, while some pockets in it do appear to be fairly highly valued, the fact is over the last 6 months, if you take, for me, a 6 months is a good part because 6 months from now you're in November, which means you're at the end of the selling pressure, which started from September by the FIIs, right? So over the 6 months, Nifty has been fairly flat. But you see, realty, auto, they've all underperformed the Nifty. So I think they haven't run up. Private banks, I think, have picked up most of the slack in that period. So to some extent, there is some cushion there. And finally, to speak with Ganesh Chaturthi in another 2 3 months and the festive season starting, I think times are going to be good for auto numbers. And you saw last month's numbers, the number sales numbers for overall auto industry was fairly good. So I think that there's a good bet to play, given that there are a lot of tailwinds in their support now.
Yeah, okay, that's the take coming in on the entire auto pack, but just minutes left to go before we wind down trade for the day. Actually, let me come to you. Any BTST trades that you would like to recommend to our viewers?
Yeah, so I have a couple of trades. You can look at M&M from the auto space. A very strong technical chart setup from a short-term trading perspective, where you can look forward for targets of 3062 from a short-term trading perspective. Maintain a stop loss of 2997 on this buy trade. The second trade is in Tata Chemicals. Again, a healthy technical setup, long additions in FNO, which is promising possible targets till 970 on the upside. You can maintain a stop loss of 866 on this trade.
Nagraj, what about your BTST ideas?
Yeah, I have two trades for the short term. First one is both are from a mid cap segment. First one is from a shipping side, G shipping. Chartically, G shipping after the bounce, it has consolidated at the higher levels. The overall chart pattern is indicating some accumulation pattern below the hurdle of 200-day EMA, which is currently around 980, 990 levels. The overall chart pattern is indicating that we are likely to see a decisive upside breakout of 200-day EMA around 980, 990 level in the stock price. So currently trading around 976, 977, one can look to buy at this point of time. And 1030 to 1040 is going to be the upside target, and one can place a stop loss at 940. And the second one is Signature Global. The stock has been in a consolidation phase previously, and it has in an uptrend over the last couple of months. High tops, high bottoms is there on the chart, and now placed at the edge of breaking above the trend line resistance technically. The currently trading around 1258 levels. One can look to buy at this point of time. and 1320 is going to be the upside target, and one can place a stop loss at 1320. Sorry,
Right.
1220.
Right, okay, that's the stop loss 1220 on Signature Global. But Nagraj, great to have you on the show. Thanks as always for your time. Let me also take it across to Ash.